Never do what I did today. Welcome to Framework Fortune. I'm your host Ben, and this is the recap for day 15 of the Day Trading Small Account Challenge. If you want to follow this small account challenge, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And come join us in the live streams to leave your comments, questions, or concerns. Alright, so let's dive into this recap. Now, the audio for the live footage was absolutely terrible. There was a high pitch ringing and some other problems. So I had to completely cut that out, and I'll be going over what I was looking at and why I did what I did and why I shouldn't have done what I did. So let's jump into it. So right at the bell, we were watching EYEG and VIVE. Both of these stocks had press releases and had some volume in pre-market and made some pretty decent moves. But at the bell, they weren't really getting that much volume. They're both low flow stocks, and with a lot of volume, they should come with some pretty big rips, and they weren't really getting those rips. So I started looking around for a few other stocks to see if I could find anything else to trade or something else that may have volume on it. So I ended up finding ASLN, and it just came out with a press release after the bell, and it was getting a little bit of action, but I switched away from it for a few minutes to look back at the other plays. And then when I had switched back to ASLN, I noticed that it had got halted. It had went on a pretty decent move, and I realized the volume is going to be on this play. So after waiting for the halt to come out, I was expecting a little bit of a gap up and then maybe a move up. But as soon as it came out, it gapped up, it started shooting straight up again and got halted immediately. The stock, I think, was only open for maybe a minute or two before it got halted for the second time. After one halt, there's usually a good possibility of a pullback. After a second halt, there's a really good possibility of a pullback. But sometimes it doesn't happen. These stocks, being such low float stocks, can come out of the halts, rip and get halted again, rip and get halted again. And this is actually what happened with ASLN. It was halted 3 times on circuit breaker halts because it just continually ripped. So at this point, because I felt the FOMO kicking in and this stock had not had a pullback yet, I was feeling a little bit gambly. I was starting to feel like I was wearing snakeskin boots and a snakeskin hat and felt like, let's make a bet on red like I'm at the roulette table. This was absolutely stupid. Terrible idea. Never get in after the third halt. Ever. This stock had went straight up. It was up very high. And after the third halt, it was time for a pullback. This should have been obvious and clear. But like I said, I started feeling pretty gambly. And the FOMO was kicking in. So I jumped in here. Now, as soon as it dropped below $2, I jumped out, and it dropped so fast I still ended up taking an $89 loss. But overall, this was a very bad play to try to get in. After a stock gets out of a halt, do not jump immediately into it. Wait and see which way it's going to go. So here's the orders for ASLN. You can see buy 400 shares, 9:53 a.m. and that was canceled because that's when I tried to get in before the halt and could not get filled. And then buy 300 total shares of ASLN at $2.13. 10:08 a.m. sell 300 shares of ASLN at $1.83. 10:09 a.m. and you can see that was only in a minute span, and that's how fast the stock started dropping. And this was for an $89 loss. So there you have it. And the moral of the story is never chase and do not give in to FOMO, especially after 3 halts. That is insanity. Never do that. Ever. All you're doing is asking to blow your account up. And this could have really blew my account up if I didn't get out as fast as I did. Within 1 minute, the stock had dropped so much that I lost $89, and I actually got out quick. The stock continued to crash even more after that. So it is very, very possible and real that you can blow your account up by doing something as stupid as this. Honestly, I got lucky I got out as fast as I did. So that's it for day 15. We've got Thanksgiving coming up. It's going to be a weird week. Volume's going to be off. It's going to be a transition week into December. So we'll see what volume looks like. Come join us in the live streams. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns. If you have any questions about this day, you can drop it in the comments below. I'm your host, Ben. You've been watching Framework Fortune.